There are certainly things in this world that we were never meant to see, but human curiosity is impossible to suppress. No matter how strange or dangerous something may be, we always feel the urge to uncover the truth. So let's dive into things that should have remained in the dark. Number 30. Danakil Depression. In some parts of the Earth, nature seems to operate on an entirely different level. In the northern part of the Afar Triangle in Ethiopia lies the remarkable Danakil Depression. This geological depression was formed by the divergence of three tectonic plates in the Horn of Africa. Essentially, a depression is a kind of drainage basin that normally holds water. Think of it like a river or an ocean, but in this case, there's no outlet for the water to escape. The Danakil Depression is renowned as one of the hottest places on the planet, and its landscape feels almost otherworldly. Large salt flats, bubbling lava lakes, active volcanoes, and acidic springs can all be found here. It nearly seems like a sight from another planet because of how strange and severe the surroundings are. The remains of Lucy, an early predecessor of modern humans that dates back an astounding 3.2 million years, were discovered in this area in 1974. Making it one of the most historically significant finds. The Danakil Depression, however, provides more than just a glimpse into the past. Researchers investigating extremophile microorganisms that can survive in the most severe temperatures, pH levels, or environments find heaven in its harsh settings. Researching these hardy organisms can reveal information about life on Earth, as well as the potential for life on other worlds, like Mars. The Danakil Depression is more than just a geological wonder. It's a natural laboratory, a historical treasure, and a glimpse into the limits of life itself. Number 29. Waters Meeting. A place in British Columbia just outside Vancouver near the delta of the Fraser River, something quietly fascinating happens where the river meets the sea. At first glance, it almost looks like a photo that has been edited. From above, a sharp line cuts across the water, dividing it into two completely different colors. On one side, the water is greenish and cloudy. On the other side, the water is deep blue and clearer, belonging to the vast Strait of Georgia, which is salty ocean water. It seems like someone drew a boundary across the surface of the ocean. But this line isn't an illusion. It's nature doing exactly what physics tells it to do. The river carries fresh water that has sediment from mountains and forests upstream. Since these two types of water are different in temperature, salt level, and density, they do not mix immediately when they meet. Instead, they flow next to each other for some distance, like two travelers walking on the same path but still keeping some distance between them. For a short stretch of the river, you can actually see where they meet like an invisible border that's usually hidden under the water. Watching it feels a little unreal. For a moment, it's like witnessing two different worlds collide, yet quietly refuse to become one. Number 28. Tree pollen. There is really nothing wrong with this picture. That is, until the tree begins to fall and leaves a cloud of pollen in the shape of the actual tree in its wake a few seconds later. If you have allergies, you might want to get your medication ready first. It's an allergy nightmare when a cloud of pollen starts to descend. A pine tree then releases a massive puff of pollen that forms an intimidating yellow cloud, which is rather unexpected. Number 27. The Moving Rocks. Deep within the scorching desert of Racetrack Playa, something exists that has puzzled scientists and visitors for decades. Huge rocks that move on their own. Scattered across the dry lake bed, these heavy stones sit quietly on the cracked desert floor. But behind many of them, long trails stretch across the ground, sometimes hundreds of feet long, as if the rocks have slowly slid across the surface. The strange part? No one has ever seen them move. These rocks, some weighing over 300 kilograms, leave clear tracks in the mud, turning corners and even changing direction. Yet when people arrive, the rocks are always perfectly still. No animals, no people, no obvious force pushing them. For years, theories ranged from powerful winds to magnetic fields to even something supernatural. How could such massive stones move across a flat desert without anyone witnessing it? The mystery lingered for decades, making the moving rocks one of the strangest sights in Death Valley National Park. Eventually, scientists discovered that under extremely rare conditions, a thin layer of ice forms on the playa during cold winter nights. When the sun rises, the ice begins to break apart, and with a little help from strong winds, the floating ice sheets slowly push the rocks across the wet ground. The movement is incredibly slow, so slow that it's almost impossible to notice with the naked eye. But the trails they leave behind tell the story. Number 26. Whales sleeping. The giant sperm whale is one of the most magnificent animals in the world. We have learned a great deal about them through research, but one of the most fascinating things about them is how they sleep. It's a bizarre sight to see a pod of sperm whales napping together. The whales only spend about 7% of their day sleeping, which is about 10 to 15 minutes each time. The whales actually sleep vertically, so it's quite strange to see them floating upright and motionless in the ocean. This state of whales is known as drift diving. Since whales are still mammals, they often sleep with half of their brains still working to keep themselves from drowning and to make it easier for them to fly upward to breathe. As a result, they are never truly sleeping. Number 25. The mysterious hole in Antarctica. Deep within the frozen wilderness of Antarctica, one of the most remote and least explored places on Earth, an image discovered through satellite revealed something that quickly captured the internet's attention. At first, it looked impossible. Hidden within a massive snow-covered mountain was a dark opening shaped almost perfectly like a doorway. The structure appeared rectangular, with straight edges and a shadowed interior, making it look less like a natural formation and more like an entrance carved into the ice itself. People began asking the same chilling question: what if it really is a doorway? Different speculation and opinions spread across the world. Some said it must be the entrance to a hidden underground base buried beneath the Antarctica ice. Others predicted something different, as they believed it might lead to a lost civilization, or it could be evidence of something far more mysterious, an unknown structure hidden from the rest of the world. The location only made the mystery deeper. But when scientists examined the image closely, according to their research, the doorway is most likely a natural rock formation. Parts of the mountains hidden behind the ice may become visible when glaciers gradually shift and melt. Openings or shadows that appear remarkably symmetrical from above can be produced by wind erosion and collapsing ice. What appears to be the ideal gateway is actually likely a shadowy space between snow and exposed rock. The illusion is strong, though. The dark opening appears uncannily accurate from a satellite perspective, almost as if it were intended. Furthermore, even a small rock structure can seem like much more in a location as enigmatic and uncharted as Antarctica. Because when you're gazing at an odd entryway etched into the ice of the world's most isolated continent, it's difficult not to ponder what could be concealed beneath it. Number 24. Aokigahara. The forest is one of the most famous places in Japan, but the reason it is so well known isn't good. Although the forbidden forest with its lush, lovely trees may appear breathtaking at first, there are many sad and terrible tales associated with it. Since the 1950s, the Aokigahara forest has become a well-known location for individuals who wish to end their lives. The number of deaths in the forest has been steadily increasing. In 2010, the local police reported that over 200 people had attempted suicide there. As a result, there are numerous remnants of those individuals scattered throughout the forest. Going to Aokigahara is not prohibited, but there are areas that visitors are not permitted to enter due to the forest's treacherous tree maze, which is known as the Sea of Trees. There are signs encouraging people to live, such as, "Your life is a precious gift from your parents," or "Please consult someone to stop people from claiming your own lives." But these efforts are still ineffective in preventing some deaths in the area. Certain locations with breathtaking natural beauty are made even more poignant by an unfavorable reputation that they are unable to overcome. Aokigahara Forest in Japan is undoubtedly one of those locations. Number 23. The Philadelphia Experiment. Something unthinkable occurred in Philadelphia in 1943. The USS Eldridge disappeared from view. Shadows moved where light should have been, and sailors experienced an odd hum that vibrated through their bones. Some came back, but not all of them. Others vanished, leaving only murmurs. Was it teleportation, invisibility, or a window into a world that humans were never supposed to see? Survivors described men fused with metal, time bending, and reality folding, but the authorities destroyed the recordings. They got too close out of curiosity. Certain secrets ought to stay that way. Once seen, some visions linger forever. Number 22. The Catacombs of Paris. Known as the City of the Dead, the Catacombs of Paris are an underground ossuary beneath Paris. It holds the remains of more than 6 million people. Here, the walls are composed of neatly stacked bones rather than just stone, with skulls looking back as though to question the living. It started out as a way to deal with overcrowded cemeteries, but as you walk through these passageways, you sense something different: the weight of innumerable lives, historical echoes, and the unsettling touch of impending death. Some claim that you can hear shadows and footsteps that don't belong to you. Explorers are drawn in by curiosity, yet the catacombs jealously protect their secrets. As soon as you enter, you see a side of life that the sun was never supposed to show, a city where death rules in silence. Number 21. Catatumbo lightning. Nearly every night, something amazing occurs high above the mouth of the Catatumbo River in Venezuela. Strong lightning streaks abruptly start to flash across the sky, sometimes continuously for hours at a time. Catatumbo lightning, sometimes referred to as the eternal lightning storm, is the name of this peculiar phenomenon. This lightning occurs in the same location around 300 nights a year, in contrast to typical storms that come and go. When cooler air from the Andes Mountains and the surrounding wetlands combines with warm air from the Caribbean Sea, massive storm clouds are created. The sky is constantly charged with electricity as a result of these air masses colliding. From a distance, the night appears as a natural light display, as the horizon lights with silent bursts of light. Sailors also used it as a nighttime guide for centuries. It serves as a stunning reminder that nature is capable of producing spectacular views that are almost unbelievable. Number 20. Moose walking on water. Imagine seeing a moose run across open water with such ease that it seems to defy the rules of nature. At first view, it appears to be a miraculous achievement of a creature moving across the surface as though gravity had vanished. It's such an odd sight that few people would believe it actually happened if it hadn't been captured on camera. However, appearances can be misleading. The moose isn't actually running on water at all. These kinds of big, massive animals are difficult to float. We are seeing a sophisticated optical deception. This massive moose is probably walking on the riverbed below, just as boats may skim over shallow water. Although it is only navigating the shallow waters, its remarkable height gives the impression that it is defying physics. Nature can occasionally startle us in ways that defy our vision. This amazing moment serves as a reminder that the world is full of amazing illusions and that not everything is as it seems, even though we may not yet have a true walking on water miracle. Number 19. Blue lava. Blue lava, also called apibiru, appears to be something from a science fiction film. It is sometimes referred to as sulfur fire or blue fire. As the name suggests, this phenomena happens when sulfur burns, creating an electric blue flame that resembles lava. I may have previously referred to it as lava, but let's be clear, this isn't actual lava. It is a sulfuric flame that resembles molten rock. The majority of these captivating fires have been seen on Indonesia's Kawah Ijen volcano, where they burn nearly non-stop. This volcano has earned the moniker the Blue Volcano due to its well-known sulfur mining operations. Particularly at night, when they flash brightly against the darkness, the flames are amazing. However, beauty carries some risk. It is quite dangerous to approach volcanic fumes, since they are lethal. Fun fact, the temperature of actual lava, the reddish-orange molten rock we typically picture, ranges from 700 to 1,250 degrees Celsius. In order for blue lava to exist on Earth, it would need to be at least 6,000 degrees Celsius, which is much hotter than any lava that occurs naturally. This serves as a fantastic reminder that sometimes what appears impossible is simply chemistry and physics playing tricks on our sight, even though nature may produce visions that appear otherworldly. Number 18. Hang Son Doong. Hidden deep in the jungles of Vietnam lies Hang Son Doong, the largest cave ever discovered on Earth. In 1991, a local man named Ho Khan slipped upon the mysterious place of Hang Son Doong after hearing the roar of an underground river. When explorers from the British Cave Research Association finally investigated in 2009, they uncovered a world unlike anything imagined. The cave is so massive it could fit skyscrapers, contains its own clouds and weather, and even hides a lush underground jungle where sunlight enters through collapsed ceilings. For eons, it eluded our gaze, a hidden realm Earth had guarded jealously. Entering it then feels like crossing into a secret world, one the planet had kept for itself. Number 17. Cave of the Crystal. Hidden beneath the surface of Chihuahua, researchers discovered a cave. When they drilled the tunnel about 300 meters underground there, they found something shocking. They accidentally broke into a huge chamber that was filled with several selenite gypsum crystals. This place is known as the Cave of Crystal. The crystals weighed about 55 tons with a length of 12 meters. These massive glass-like structures were like giant pillars that seemed to rise from underground. Walking through it feels like stepping into another planet, a glowing forest of gigantic crystals growing straight from the ground. The cave is so hot as temperature can reach over 50 degrees Celsius with nearly 100% humidity. Humans can only stay inside for a few minutes without special protective suits. Hidden for thousands of years beneath the Naka mine, this glowing crystal chamber is one of the most astonishing secrets ever uncovered beneath the earth. Number 16. Lighthouse. If we go back in the past, do you remember the people when they risked their lives just to guide ships and boats in the middle of the ocean? A lighthouse keeping job isn't really something for the weak-hearted. Sure, we have seen lighthouses before. But do you really know just what unfolds in the middle of the ocean? Waves more than 15 feet relentlessly slam on the lighthouse. As a lighthouse keeper, you need to maintain everything inside the structure and make sure that the lens and light are perfectly functional. Of course, you don't need to worry while you're inside the structure, but seeing as some lighthouses are located in the middle of rough waters, it's very bad news if you ever encounter a fatal error while you're out in the ocean. Historically, lighthouse keepers used to have been a business and a duty passed down from generation to generation within families. Imagine waking up and opening your door and you immediately see a huge wave threatening to wash you away. Of course, that's way back when our technology was still lacking. Now there are automated lighthouses, and so there are fewer lighthouse keepers in the industry. The profession may have declined, but this also means that less people need to sacrifice themselves for this treacherous job. Number 15. Tank decoys. During the darkest periods of human history, World Wars I and II changed the course of the world in unimaginable ways. Among the countless strategies used in these wars, one of the most clever and surprising was the use of tank decoys. On D-Day, as part of Operation Fortitude, a key piece of the larger Operation Bodyguard, the Allies needed to trick the Germans about where they would attack. Fortitude North made the Germans think Norway was the target, while Fortitude South suggested an assault in northeast Normandy. To make this believable, the Allies used inflatable dummy tanks alongside real ones. At first, these decoys were simple wooden shells and inflatables, but they were later upgraded to mimic heat signatures, fooling even advanced German reconnaissance. This unusual tactic shows the extraordinary lengths humans went to during war, blending creativity, deception, and technology in ways few could imagine. Number 14. Blood falls. A fascinating geologic anomaly lies concealed under the snow in the icy white wonderland of Antarctica. This is the blood falls, which are thought to be among the most bizarre phenomena in the world. It's ironic that the blood falls are located in the Taylor Glacier, a large glacier that produces a blood-red river of water that gives the impression that the ground is actually bleeding. For decades, researchers have been confused as to why the blood falls exist, and many believe that red algae caused the discoloration in the water. However, as time went on, and more research was conducted, scientists were able to reveal a complex network of subglacial rivers and a subglacial lake that is filled with brine high in iron that causes the water to have a blood-red discoloration. Number 13. Mount Roraima. The lost world above the clouds. An isolated plateau with species found nowhere else on Earth. What if I told you there's a place on Earth that feels alien? The lost world above the clouds. An isolated plateau with species found nowhere else on Earth. Rising above the clouds at the border of Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana, Mount Roraima is a flat-topped mountain with sheer cliffs almost 400 meters high, a world cut off for millions of years. On its summit, explorers discovered carnivorous plants, crystal-clear pools, strange rock formations, and creatures found nowhere else on Earth. Constant storms and mist cloak the plateau, hiding it from the eyes of most humans. The indigenous Pemon people call it sacred, a realm of spirits. Standing there, you realize, this isn't just a mountain, it's a lost world above the clouds, a place humans were perhaps never meant to see. Number 12. Ocean on fire. Imagine looking out at the ocean at night, expecting the calm, endless waves, and instead seeing it ablaze. A glowing, fiery sea flickering in reds and oranges, almost like the ocean itself is on fire. This is not a hallucination. In certain parts of the world, natural gas seeps from beneath the seabed, igniting, creating temporary flames on the water's surface. Combine this with oil spills or methane pockets, and the sea can literally burn. Yet, what makes it terrifying is its unpredictability. These flames can flare up without warning, stretching hundreds of meters across. Sailors in coastal communities have reported waves dancing with fire, sparks leaping into the night sky, and waters glowing eerily under the moonlight. To the human eye, it's mesmerizing and unnerving because fire and water are enemies by nature. Seeing them merge is a reminder that nature's power can defy our understanding, producing sights we were perhaps never meant to witness. Number 11. Fleas emerging from the sand. Imagine walking along a quiet beach, only to witness hundreds of tiny creatures emerging from the sand. These are not ordinary insects. They are sea fleas, flesh-eating crustaceans that mostly feed on dead marine animals like fish, crabs, seabirds, and sometimes even whale carcasses. Normally, they are harmless to humans, ranging from half a centimeter to about a centimeter in size, leaving only mild itches if they brush against your skin. But in rare cases, they can be dangerous. There have been reports of people stepping into shallow waters and coming out with cuts and even blood, caused by these tiny carnivorous creatures nibbling on anything motionless. Their feeding instincts target diseased or dead flesh on the seabed, but if you linger, you could become a temporary target. It's a strange and unsettling reminder of the hidden dangers in nature. Number 10. Breathing forest. This video shows just how incredible nature can be. The forest in the footage appears to be so alive, in fact, that the forest floor seems to rise and fall gently, like a breathing human. When the video went viral, people were both amazed and creeped out. Many viewers thought the forest was responding to human activity, deforestation, urbanization, and other disruptions to nature. But the truth is much simpler. The so-called breathing effect is caused by strong winds swaying the trees. Their roots, intertwined beneath the forest floor, transmit the motion, making the ground rise and fall as if it were inhaling and exhaling. Seeing this in person would be breathtaking. At first, you might be too stunned to speak. The motion is so realistic that it almost feels alive, a gentle reminder of nature's power and the delicate balance of life that surrounds us every day. Number 9. The Crooked Forest. Next, we travel to Poland, to an otherwise ordinary forest near Gryfino. But here, something truly strange catches your eye. A grove of pine trees that defies explanation. These aren't just any trees. Known as the Crooked Forest, it is made up of around 400 pine trees, each growing with an unusual 90-degree bend in their trunks. The reason behind this odd shape remains a mystery. Some say it was the result of heavy snow bending the young saplings, while others suggest gravitational forces or even human interference long ago. Walking among these crooked pines feels unreal, like stepping into a place where nature itself followed a strange rule. It is one of the many places on Earth that humans were never meant to fully understand. Number 8. The island where time was frozen. One of the most enigmatic locations on Earth is Surtsey Island in Iceland. For decades, this remote island has been virtually uninhabited, allowing life to thrive completely untouched by humans. Ancient flora and trees grow here just as they did hundreds of years ago, and many of the animals on the island are found nowhere else on the planet. Because of its isolation, very few people ever travel to Surtsey, letting nature remain entirely untamed and unaltered. Scientists who have studied the island call it a living museum, a place where life has developed in complete seclusion. Surtsey is a reminder that some parts of our planet are meant to stay hidden, places where humans were never meant to interfere. It shows us just how beautiful, strange, and powerful nature can be when left entirely alone. Number 7. The underwater Lake of Death. Deep beneath the waves of the Gulf of Mexico, scientists exploring the ocean floor discovered something that should not exist: a lake under the sea. At first, it looks like a mirage, a dark, rippling pool sitting on the seabed, with what appears to be a shoreline and even tiny waves. But this eerie place is known as the brine pool, and it's often called the Lake of Death. Why? Because anything that enters it rarely comes out alive. This underwater lake is filled with water that is 5 times saltier than the surrounding ocean, along with toxic chemicals like hydrogen sulfide. The mixture is so dense that it forms a separate layer, just like oil floating on water. Fish that accidentally swim into it quickly become disoriented, then motionless. Crabs and other creatures gather along its edges, waiting for the unlucky victims that drift in, turning the shoreline into a deep-sea trap. Scientists studying these pools with submersibles have compared the scene to an alien world, a deadly lake hidden in the darkness at the bottom of the ocean, a place where the rules of nature twist in ways that make you wonder, how many more environments like this exist in parts of Earth humans were never meant to see? Number 6. Mosquito Bay. Imagine yourself standing on a quiet Puerto Rican beach. The ocean is calm, almost too calm, and the night is completely dark. Abruptly, a hand is moved through the water, and blue light bursts forth from the water. Greetings from Mosquito Bay on the island of Vieques, a sight so bizarre that it seems like humans were never supposed to see it. Glowing waves are produced at each splash. Each swimming fish turns into a vivid blue streak. The ocean is ignited like liquid electricity, even by footfall in the shallow water. It appears lovely and even wonderful at first. However, the reality behind it is even more disturbing. Here, billions of microscopic organisms known as dinoflagellates inhabit the water. When something touches them, they release flashes of light as a defense reaction to a biological alarm system designed to expose predators in the darkness. In other words, the ocean isn't glowing for us. It's glowing because something disturbed it. And when the entire bay suddenly lights up around you, it feels less like a beautiful natural wonder and more like you've just triggered a signal in a world that normally lives in complete darkness. Number 5. Shanay-Timpishka. Deep in the heart of the Amazon rainforest, hidden beneath a dense canopy of emerald green, lies one of the most mysterious places on Earth, the Shanay-Timpishka. Locals call it the river that boils with the heat of the sun. But this is no myth. Imagine standing beside a river that looks ordinary until the water begins to bubble. Steam rises into the humid jungle air. The temperature can reach nearly 93 degrees Celsius, hot enough to instantly kill small animals that fall in. Scientists once believed a boiling river like this could only exist near volcanoes. But here's the terrifying part. There are no active volcanoes anywhere nearby. For centuries, the Ashaninka people warned outsiders about this sacred and dangerous place. They believed powerful spirits heated the water from deep beneath the earth. When geoscientist Andres Russo finally studied the river, he discovered something astonishing. Rainwater seeps deep underground, where geothermal forces heat it before it surges back to the surface, turning this river into a natural boiling cauldron. Stretching over 6 kilometers, it's the largest known boiling river on the planet. In a place where the jungle already feels alive, this river reminds us that Earth still holds secrets powerful enough to defy everything we think we know. Number 4. The lake that turns animals into stone. Located in the northern part of Tanzania, there is a lake so strange that animals who die near it appear to turn into stone. This eerie place is called Lake Natron. The lake's water contains high levels of salt, sodium, and alkaline minerals. When animals come into contact with it, the minerals can preserve their bodies, giving them the appearance of exquisitely carved statues. The lake's pigment is crimson. This gives the lake its striking red hue, and its shallower areas an orange tint. In addition to high and fluctuating salt levels, the temperature can reach 60 degrees Celsius, making it uninhabitable for the majority of species. The lake has become well known worldwide because of photos of birds and bats frozen in realistic positions. The location seems almost otherworldly when you see these stone-like creatures strewn around the shore. Number 3. Mariana Trench. Imagine an area that has never been touched by sunlight because it is so deep and dark. Nearly 11 kilometers below the surface of the Pacific Ocean, the Mariana Trench is the deepest area on Earth. The pressure down here is unbearable and far greater than what humans are designed to endure. The temperature is slightly above freezing, and bizarre extraterrestrial beings that glow in bioluminescent light prowl the dark seas. Unimaginable life forms, translucent fish with dagger-like teeth, and giant squids all exist on planets quite different from our own. Its secrets have only ever been seen by a tiny number of courageous explorers in specially built submersibles, and every dive serves as a reminder of how little we are in the vast, uncaring ocean. The Mariana Trench isn't just a place, it's a portal to a hidden world, a dark frontier where the rules of life are rewritten, and a chilling testament to the mysteries humans were never meant to see. Number 2. Reverse waterfall. Deep inside a forgotten valley, explorers discovered something that should not exist. A waterfall that doesn't fall. Instead of crashing down the cliff, the water slowly rises upward, climbing into the sky as if gravity has lost its power. At first, scientists thought it was a strange wind effect, but the truth was far more disturbing. The water continues rising even on perfectly calm days. Drones sent above it suddenly lose signal, and their cameras return nothing but static. Even stranger, the river feeding the waterfall never runs dry. It's as if something high above the clouds is pulling the water away. The question remains, what is waiting up there? Number 1. Ilha da Queimada Grande. And finally, the last stop on our journey through things humans were never meant to see was Ilha da Queimada Grande, better known as Snake Island. The golden lancehead pit viper, one of the deadliest animals on Earth, lives on this little foggy island off the coast of Brazil. It's a planet where people are not welcome, with an estimated 1 snake per square meter. The island is mysterious, uninhabited, and filled with life that has developed in unsettling seclusion. There are only curving rocks and slithering predators, no beaches, and no pleasant paths. Extreme caution is required for scientists who dare to investigate it, because every step could be lethal. Ilha de Queimada Grande isn't just a place. It's a chilling reminder of nature's power and secrecy, a forbidden realm where humanity's curiosity meets its limits. Some corners of the world were never meant for our eyes, and this is one of them.